What is up, guys? Ricky here with another video, and today we're talking ability pruning in World of Warcraft come World of Draenor. Okay? Now, let me just start off by saying I'm really happy about the ability pruning because I think there's a lot of useless shit in the game in terms of abilities. An example of things I'm really happy about is the passive weapon imbuement for shamans, where, for example, if you're enhancement, you automatically have wind for your weapon and flame tongue weapon, as far as I've understood. I don't play a shaman, but it is one of the few reasons I didn't like playing a shaman too much. Another thing I really like is Inquisition gone for Ret Paladins. There are people saying you don't really feel it, it's gone anyway, but I know I was going to play a Ret Paladin at the launch of MoP, and when I saw Inquisition I said, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be reapplying a buff every few seconds or every minute or something like that. I'm not going to do that. I think that's ridiculous design. I think that's straight up stupid. A big question here that I've got from friends as well in terms of ability pruning has been won't it just make the game easy mode, right? Because they're changing abilities, they're changing your rotation to be for some classes more simple because some parts of their rotation just isn't there anymore. My opinion here is that it doesn't necessarily make it more easy mode. Sure, some rotations make it easier. For example, what I've seen of Guardian Druid so far, which I play sometimes, definitely looks far easier. Let me just point out that I'm not in the beta. I've just watched a shit ton of footage. For example, I watched Preach, Fat Boss, those guys, Bay as well, Final Boss, sorry. Those guys, I watch those whenever they stream, pretty much. And yeah, I mean, sure, some rotations make it easier, but not all does. Not all rotations do get easier. If you take a look at DKs, for example, you know, you might think that oh well, no Horn of Winter as part of my rotation must make it simpler because there's just one less ability. But you got to think about, how's the whole downtime changed in that case? Because you do have some downtime on live right now where you got to use Horn of Winter to get some runic power back so you can use more Frost Strikes and actually do something despite not actually being able to do something. But with that out, what do you do, right? Because they're not, I don't know this for sure, but I wouldn't think they would just say, oh, well now you have those 5 seconds of downtime. Because that would be stupid. 5 seconds of downtime is a ton, that would be completely ridiculous. I really hope that's not what they're doing. I hope they're actually changing our rotation a little bit, or just changing our passive regeneration of runes a little bit, so that there's constantly something to do still. But I get what people say. I get how people can think that ability pruning obviously makes the game easier, but I just don't quite agree. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just say I think you're wrong. One issue that I've seen so far from a lot of people is they're complaining that utility has been removed instead of just only useless abilities per se. And what I gotta say here is, I'm fine with the fact that tanks have practically no raid utility anymore, because it's not their job to have the raid utility. It's the healer's jobs to keep people alive through cooldowns and shit. Tanks have their own, personal cooldowns that are probably a little bit stronger than that of the DPS. But it's the healers. It's the job of the healers to actually sit there and use raid CDs to keep everyone alive whenever a big hit comes in. And so I think that's fine. I think that's absolutely fine. When I'm tanking, I don't want to worry about keeping the entire raid alive with my CDs. I want to try and worry about keeping myself alive with my own personal CDs. That's the same thing. Like if I'm a DPS, I don't want to have to. I don't want to have to do some weird shit. I just want to say, all right, big hit coming in. Sure, I'll use Icebound Fortitude on my DK, or I'll use Anti-Magic Shield depending on what type of damage it is. That's what I want to be doing. I want to be focusing on myself. Healers, they focus on the entire raid. I focus on myself, right? So that's just my opinion, guys. I want to know what you guys think, if you agree or disagree with me. I honestly think, removal of certain abilities could definitely make the game easier, but I don't feel like it necessarily is as it is right now, I completely understand why some people don't like the removal of utility simply based off the fact that, hey, I came in and MoP with all the utility. I want to have that. That's why I enjoy the game, and I'm sorry to tell you, man, but it's not actually your job as a tank or as a DPS to use raid CDs and keep the entire raid alive. That's not actually your job per se. On top of that, you gotta consider the fact that the ability pruning is just simply a good idea, at least in my opinion, because there's no good reason why we should have 40 abilities that we gotta use, right? I mean, 40 is probably an exaggeration, but some of the classes use a ton, right? And I don't necessarily feel like that's a good idea, because the rotation doesn't have to be so difficult. The rotation doesn't need to consist of like 10 abilities. It's okay that it consists of like 4 or 5 or whatever. I mean, it's just convenient again that we don't have that many abilities that we got to use because it looks smoother. It feels smoother if we don't have to worry about like 10 or 20 abilities. Some people say that it is done, like the whole ability pruning is done not because of the button bloat like Blizzard says, but because they're planning on releasing World of Warcraft to consoles. I don't think that's a good idea personally. I don't think it's a good idea to bring World of Warcraft to consoles. Sure, they will make more money probably, but it I don't see WoW playing well on a console. I have actually considered trying with a controller for Worlds of Draenor, just while leveling, not for raids, but while leveling, because I think it could be fun. Endgame content, I don't see that being done properly with a controller compared to keyboard and mouse. Is it going to be on consoles? I don't know. I have seen links to people saying that has been confirmed. I haven't found a Blizzard post saying it was confirmed, but there you go. So yeah, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. And of course, thank you for watching the video. Feel free to subscribe and like and favorite and all that good shit. Check it out on all the socials and stuff like that. Links are, on the screen. You can see them very easily. Check out the website. That is simply genesishq.net. You can find everything else from there. My name is Ricky, and see you next time.